LA Lakers are going to be completely fine for the remainder of the regular season. Everybody is panicking about Anthony Davis and his health. Look, the Lakers will navigate just finely without him for the foreseeable future. As long as he is healthy and ready for the playoffs, there will be no issues. But the Lakers do have a big potential problem on their hands this coming offseason in Alex Caruso. Some may not want to admit it right now, but the Lakers, they may be forced to allow Caruso to walk in free agency. So let's break it down. When looking at Caruso just from the face stats, some may question why this guy even gets all the attention, because after all, he is only averaging 5.5 points and 2.3 assists per game. But with Caruso, it's not about the face stats. Although many just refer to him as a meme, Laker fans truly know how useful this guy is, on both ends of the floor. Caruso, even before this season, was a great defender and hustler, and throughout the season so far, he has only just been able to improve. He is a great on-ball defender, averaging 1 steal per game in only 18 minutes a night. He is increasingly getting better and better as a rim protector with all these chase down blocks that he's been doing, and when he's on the court, the Lakers have a much better defensive rating. But the biggest change compared to last season has been that Caruso has become an excellent and consistent 3-point shooter. This was the biggest knack against him. Teams knew that they could sag off of him and not really pay for it, more times than not, when trying to guard LeBron. This season, Caruso is shooting a career high 44% from the 3-point line on a little over 2 attempts per game. So, with Caruso adding that 3-point jumper to his game, he's going to be seen a lot more as a 3-and-D guard that can also control the offense at times. Which brings up the first big sign of worry for Laker fans, and the Lakers. These types of players on championship teams who can shoot the ball, defend well, and hustle, well, historically, we've seen these players get the bank in free agency. I believe the best example to show the big issue that the Lakers have is through, ironically, one of LeBron's former teammates, in Matthew Dellavedova. Whatever you may think about Matthew, he's dirty, he wasn't good, he was overrated, whatever, honestly whatever. You can't lie, the similarities between him and Caruso are eerily similar. For one, him and Caruso were both overlooked and undrafted. They both hustle immensely on the defensive end and have proven to be great defenders at some point minimum in their career. And when LeBron wants to go to work and slash towards the rim, both Dellavedova and Caruso now have shown to be great floor spacers. But here's where the problem starts. When Dellavedova showed out in the finals, this eventually led the Bucks rewarding him with a 4-year, $44 million contract. If Caruso is able to have a strong playoff showing, similar to what he had last year, what's going to stop a rebuilding or just a team trying to get into the playoffs from giving him a contract that's worth $10 to $15 million? Now some may say, why would Caruso leave LA, championship city, to teams such as, I don't know, the Pistons? Completely random here, like I don't even know their cap space situation. Well actually, there's many. Caruso hasn't been paid well at all. For his first couple seasons in the G League and as a two-way contract player, he was making a max of $35K. Now he's making $2.7 million. But if you've only made a little over $2.7 in your career, if a team potentially offered you $48 million over your next 4 years, are you really going to turn it down? Especially after potentially winning back-to-back championships. The second viewpoint, Caruso may just want a chance at the bigger role. We saw this season with Jeremy Grant. After being a nice role player with the Nuggets, he has blossomed into a star. And while the star label may push it with Caruso, why couldn't this happen? Because after all, in LeBron's first season with LA, after the trade deadline, Caruso was given that extended run that gave him his current contract, with averages of 12.4 points and 4.8 assists a night, on 46.9% from the field. But in his last 4 games as a starter, he averaged 17.8 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 8.8 assists. But when you look at it even deeper, the Lakers have even more potential contract issues. Enter in Dennis Schroeder and Talen Horton-Tucker. The Lakers, they've been trying to get a deal done with Schroeder. In fact, a deal around the range of a 2-year, $34 million contract has been offered to Dennis already, but he turned it down. Likely meaning that Dennis wants to get at least $20 million on his paycheck. So let's just assume that the Lakers would be willing to do this, because after all, Dennis has been a great playmaker for the Lakers and has shown to be an amazing on-ball defender this season as well. Talen Horton-Tucker's situation is going to be a whole lot messier. Looking back at it, I'm guaranteeing you that the Laker personnel sort of wish his breakout in the preseason didn't happen, because rebuilding teams are definitely going to be throwing money at him, because he's still young, he showed great two-way ability, and he can be a nice piece to develop around. Now, the Lakers have Tucker as a restricted free agent, meaning that they can re-sign him and match any offer. And they also have his early bird rights, which allow for the Lakers to pay up to 105% of the average salary of last season. But let's just use common sense here, right? The Lakers have paid KCP, Anthony Davis, Kyle Kuzma, can't forget about him, and most likely Dennis Schroeder and Tucker to decently sized contracts. At some point, there's only oh so much money that the Lakers can play with. To me, this is a perfect example of a nice role player that is going to have the benefit of other teams trying to take a dynasty/finals contender piece. If Rob Pelinka is able to find a way to sign all 3 of these guards, that will shock me. That alone could put him in GM of the Year award talk. Maybe a little over exaggeration here, but you get what I'm trying to say. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time, peace.